so again, so deeply integrated. I don't think he deliberately based it off that because he himself had claimed that other than drawing inspiration from the letter found and stuff like that. I remember him making a statement at one point that he actually did not base Undertale itself on any particular thing. It was never meant to be like that, you know. But it does draw reference to a whole bunch of little. But I think subconsciously that he probably did reference a lot of stuff like that because they're aware as far as the trait, and again, this is just our take on it.
And because it's a everything.
Exactly. Well, as far as the negative traits go, and again, everybody does it differently. The way we deal with it, although our A users slight variations of this concept, even as similar as they are, but the way we dealt with it was, it's like it's not that a trait is something bad. Yeah, but taking something all the way that does that's like taking the most extreme version. Somebody has to choose to do this. It's more like this is the concept of a good thing gone bad by taking it too far. But it's not something that's irreversible either. Because if you think about, if you go with the original traits and look at how they are, you know, yeah, kindness always quote unquote sounds like it's a good thing. Definitely.
Did we tell you about our concept of corrupted souls?
I think that was one of those things that you wouldn't tell me because spoilers.
That is BS. I would tell it to you. I don't know whether BG.
There were lots of things you wouldn't tell me because.
Yeah, but that was long before we started. Actually, properly talking about the stuff.
True. Yeah. And it should only a few things I didn't have. Simply because these well, you said there's something that he doesn't know. So.
Yeah, these are things I actually want to see how long people take until they find out.
The trick matter though is unless you ask people, there's no way to know when they figured it out. Because some people, it depends who it is, but I know that people like me, VG, or TVG, sorry, and there's a couple of the others where like we'll sit back there and come up with theories about things or try to puzzle stuff together, but we deliberately keep them to ourselves because, for one, some people worry about looking stupid if they say a theory and it turns out to be wrong. But a lot of times, it's just more fun to watch it unfold, to see how it goes or where somebody's going. So, I don't know, usually I think we won't say anything unless somebody directly asks us. But that and all theories are kind of fluid.
Currently there are 3 little secrets sort of the size of the name.
Where are you fighting the Ninja Turtles?
Because they are Kappa.
Why are you fighting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Kappas?
Because I am going to the far-off land of origami.
That is awesome. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, about 3 little secrets, little the size of the other book's name, and the other identity of the other book. For what I already spreading hints everywhere. I'm so interested how many teams are going to stream in. Oh my god, I haven't seen it coming already.
Was it the name? What did you say was one of the other names?
These 3 are the size of the name of the other god from the Oh my god factor.
Is it bad that I want to hear much more about the other two? It's like, the other guy gets so much attention. That's fine. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like him. Except some of the decisions he makes, but I already have said my piece on why I think that's a problem. But I want to see more empowered and Shadow. One of them for far more biased reasons than the other, but still. Because I think Howard is really interesting too.
Grandpa might be wrong. He's a drunk grandpa. Of course
He is! He's awesome! I love it!
Might be too loud. No, I don't know what it is actually.
He is currently just kind of whoop whoop.
I don't know what it was.
I have no idea. Anyway, the concept of anyway, the concept of corrupted soul is, as long as I don't give it you in context, it's not spoilers.
So, I mean, the only... Well, I don't know, because last night we were discussing a little bit about, like, for example, the stuff with Nightmare and all that, but that... Some of that changed anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah, corrupted souls is when you take... is more or less when you take a trait and it goes sour or corrupted, as in it is the opposite of what... Rather, it is still the same, but the way it is lived is different.
That's pretty much what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's, like you said, it's taking something too far. It's...
That is just
the
what...
extreme... Because absolutely everything is its own opposite. Like, it's everything, if you take it too far, becomes the perversion of that trait. So, you know, it's... Because one of... what was it? I think one of the first ones... We were talking about some combinations are far more dangerous than others. Because, like I said, hers is unique in that all of hers are full traits. Because we did several examples when her and I were talking about it. Because even though we both came up with similar ideas separately, the specific way that it works in her world was the way the dual traits work, the way they play off of each other. I was trying to ask her a lot of questions about how certain soul traits would play off of each other. And it was good because it got her to refine some of the ideas. But certain ones, like for example, wisdom, because ironically, both of her and I have wisdom and loyalty were traits that were added to become, you know, further soul traits, and that was completely separate. But wisdom was one of the ones that can very easily become, with certain combinations, people who think that they are...
Fanatism?
Well, fanaticism is if you combine wisdom with passion, which is one of the ones she's got in her tree, the expanded tree, which actually that comes up in the story at one point, but we'll get to that another time. But, yes, that can become your obsession or fanaticism. But wisdom combined with some of the other traits, for example, can lead to people who withdraw and consider themselves too...
Hermits?
Hermits in the sense that people are not ready for their knowledge, or people are not ready for knowledge in general, and they can withdraw from things, or people consider themselves superior. This is actually kind of your pride in a lot of ways, but it's a combination of things that creates that pride. But it's again, it's at the end of the thing. You know, I usually if I'm talking to people who aren't as creative, like I said, bravery is an easy example because bravery being recklessness is simple. Most people understand that one.
Oh well, we our bravery has multiple corrupted versions.
It does. Well, and again, it depends what traits. Well, it depends on the individual. First of all, something going too far can mean more than one thing. But once again, if a person happens to be either whether it terminate you or whether in the multiverse under which they're allowed for, you can have some people that have 2 or more traits in general. Then those are going to have an impact. You know, it's going to change what the effect is as well. Even with somebody who's only a single soul trait, again, somebody might become reckless, somebody might become rather shaded, because I mean, the thing something like bravery and justice both can very, very easily become converted into something pretty deadly. So, yeah. Those are a little scary. What's funny is some would be more self-harming than they would harming to others. Kindness can be extremely dangerous to the self.
Not. We have our first version wasn't self-harm, but it was rather thinking you know what the best is for others and forcing it onto them, even if it harms them.
And that would be one of your ways for it to be for harming to others. Like I said, there's a bunch. You know, kindness would even the self-harm. There's at least 3 or 4 different ways that could go. You have some people who would become martyrs, almost. Like, you know, you're people who... You've got people who become martyr-like in the sense of... like the ones who kind of would do it for attention, so to speak. But you have the ones who also would be... Kind of like the discussion where me and Justice and Cyrus all the time sticking our neck out for other people, but taken to the extreme, where a person becomes more or less self-sacrificing for the sake of others to the point of it being detrimental. Like, maybe detrimental. That doesn't happen anyway a little bit, but you know. And it's also in degrees. I really have never looked at quote-unquote corruption of a soul like that as being a black and white thing. I've seen other people try to do it in stories, but I don't think it's as simple as, oh, this soul just suddenly became corrupt from being perfect. It's like...
From being perfect? That is... first of all, no.
Seen that in other comics, though?
Yeah, no. That is bullshit, because a soul becomes corrupt when the person can't achieve what they think is perfection.
Well, that, and again, just...
At least that is one of... There's always 2 ways in which there is failing to, there's more or less trying to achieve the perfection of your ideal, which turns... Is he still hungry?
I'm at a loss.
Bring him back over. There is trying to reach some kind of ideal and then just more or less failing at that. And by trying to reach it, they, well, more or less, or rather by over trying to reach it, they become more or less a joke version, you could say, of what they used to be.
You just have to see the not sure.
I think a lot of it has to do with understanding balance, and when... Because I think knowledge is necessarily perfect, although it's definitely one of the ways. But I think it's also kind of like that idea of everything in moderation, but when that's kind of the taking something too far, where actually it's kind of like what we talked about the other day, like the pure, like something that's really, really pure can also be the most horrifying to the villain. The most, if you take something to its base elements, so to speak, to its purest form, in a way, it's at that point that it's so easy to take it either direction. Too far one way or the other is kind of bad. Bad being relative in this case, but you know what I mean. But, because I guess I kind of look at it as there's a certain balance between a person's inner self and the world around them, especially when you're talking about souls. So, because it's like what you were talking about, like, you know, trying to be perfect or trying too hard to go about achieving perfection in a particular way is very, very much being out of balance with yourself and being out of balance with yourself. You're trying to be that one extreme.
Maybe he needs to be played with. But yeah. And that is usually how corruption... or rather, that is how corruption usually goes, because... Because the thing is, if it is... if it is perfect, if it is pure, or rather... Let's no, they're not equal. Pure and perfect are...
No, that's what I say, I consider them very different. Those terms are very, very different things.
Mm-hmm. A perfect soul wouldn't get corrupted because it is a definition of perfect. Is that it is in balance. While a soul of pure something is bound to corrupt fast.
Not necessarily. It has the potential to go either direction at that point. I would look at a pure whatever as being at... It's kind of like being 0 on your number scale at that point. It has to go one way or the other. But it's... In a weird way, it's almost a blank slate of that trait. It is, in a way, it's like...
Well,
it hasn't been interpreted yet. Maybe that's a good way of wording it.
Okay, that depends on what kind of purity you're speaking of. Do you speak of the purity that you have before you first have contact, or is it the purity that you gain by abandoning everything else?
I would think you could actually achieve that either way, but it's about something... Purity in the sense of being boiled down...
No. Those are two different kinds of purities, because there is a difference in the mentality of whoever has that soul. If someone... It's a difference between someone like Dewey, who never really had anything to do with the world, and is naive because of that, or rather is pure kindness, more or less, like the sometimes even harmful kind of kindness. And then on the other hand, there is... While I'm not kindness, I'm pretty much a clarity soul, and I pretty much abandoned everything else to reach that, because it is really the difference between someone who hasn't learned anything and someone who has learned so much that they decided that they only needed one thing.
Actually, what I was trying to use for the sake of the terminology would be both, and this is the reason I say that it can go either way. One is...
Why both?
Because the difference between it is, I guess you would say, purity is... Because neither of those examples is actually pure, is the only thing. Because one is something where a choice has been enacted on it, and it isn't absolutely pure. Because, I mean, you are not in a state of complete perfect balance. I think you easily can acknowledge that.
And that perfect balance isn't pure.
I know, but what I'm saying is that's why I wouldn't think of it as being such. It's okay.
Okay, no, sorry, you're currently just confusing me more and more, because...
I know, I'm trying to think of how to word it, bear with me. Maybe a better way of putting it is when you have a soul where nothing has been decided or acted upon it yet, or at all. Now, that's... Most people would say, if nothing's been enacted on it, it'd be like, if it's just born, but there's a lot of reasons that can happen to a soul. But it's a blank, that's why it's a blank slate. Because it hasn't moved anywhere along the spectrum yet.
Yeah, but there I would like to interject that is even before it has some kind of alignment on the spectrum. Because the proto-soul is just blank. It is pure blankness, and the first thing it does is more or less going in one direction, like loyalty, fairness, clarity, also so on and so on. Because a really pure soul would have nothing, not even an alignment.
Well, if you're talking about a singular soul being like that concept of actually pure, then I guess, but I'm talking about the pure versions of the traits. I'm talking about in and of themselves. Again,
then then we still have to kind of...
Both of those would be true statements. It's the
no, the thing
the
is that...
boiled down. It's
Mhm.
a base element concept is what I was going with when I'm talking about pure. It's going with it from a scientific definition kind of standpoint. Pure element is the basic pure version of the element. It's not blank.
100%, but 100% platinum.
Yeah, but again, it's not.
I know.
blank.
I am a
thing.
scientist.
Right, but what I'm
But
trying to say is
the problem we have here right now is that I don't I am either incapable or not currently not in the mindset to accept that something can be pure kindness, as in
it
that
wouldn't
because
really. This is for the sake of it for scientific explanation.
Mhm.
Because there are some elements from the standpoint of, say, the periodic table that cannot exist in their pure form. Like, in nature, they cannot naturally, under any circumstances, be a thing. Unless we do it, unless
that is not
makes
that is not naturally again. So you're right.
So, what I'm saying in this case is, sorry, that probably would have been something I should have said much earlier on. This is a jumping off point for the sake of a scientific explanation. So, yes, purity from that standpoint is that scientific idea of this is the absolute, base element version of the idea.
Mhm.
But the instant that you have any will, any consciousness, any outside influence and act on it, it's going to move. It's going to change where it is on the spectrum or what percentage it is or however you want to word it. That said, which this is part of the reason that normally souls are just on the spectrum someplace. But this is why you don't usually get ones that are too far to any extreme, because instinctively, most...
Did you spit on my bed?
Or, I don't think so. It looks like there's a little shiny area, but I think it might just be spit.
Yeah.
Maybe you really just need to go.
Yeah, you just got good. But yes, I know what you did, but those are the boring normal cases. Who here cares for boring normal cases?
You have to establish it first, though, from a scientific standpoint.
I do that, and then I do that in like 5.5 seconds, and then I just discard it.
You're communicating with other people, and even in a
I don't
story,
communicate with... No, that is a difference in how you tell a story. I don't explain the backstory. I just have the story happen, and people can piece it together, because my stories are usually from the perspective of one within the world.
This is why you do know this is one of the reasons so many people have so many questions and get very confused by some of the stuff in your stories. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And that is the other thing, because if I tried to explain it, I would still miss things and things. So I don't try it at all and let the questions come to me.
But you don't like answering any of them. Anything about this kind of stuff, you go out of your way to dodge. Don't think I haven't noticed.
Okay, not out of my way, but I try to avoid. But I try to avoid at least the tedious questions.
I know, otherwise you would explain them in the first place.
And I understand
What?
why you. I
You
understand.
don't try to avoid them, otherwise you would explain them in the first place.
He usually just he deflects them.
Outsmarted.
He deflects them completely. But the thing is, the reason I ask them is because for the sake of doing anything or interacting with or even helping with any ideas, I do need to understand some of the mechanics of the Omniverse you guys have. So I do need to ask some of them, and I do have to know from the standpoint of some of the mundane, boring stuff, just so I make sure I don't mix things up. And part of that is for terminology.
But the thing is, we are that is actually more or less the interesting stuff, because normal souls should actually just once you have a soul that is pure, or rather, if you have a soul that is healthy, let's put it like that, that has good chance of everything on the spectrum, then the person is mentally healthy as well.
Yeah.
So that is pretty much where the soul components for the mundane things down here end. The next thing you have to consider then is what happens when you go into extremes.
I was going to ask also, actually, since this is relevant to others. Do you, in your omniverses, ever deal with people that have more than one soul trait?
Yes.
Okay.
That is, for example, so there are some fragmented, some dichotomy. Those are rather rare, but usually a soul is one predominant color, because those are there are rare cases where someone has more or less two colors.
I ask because it really, it's the kind of thing I've avoided asking in the Ask blog, because since it has not come up in any of the main stories, I was like, this feels like something that if it is going to come up is something that answering it would be spoiler territory anyway.
Yeah,
So,
because usually it is, because in our world it's usually like that. Those who have two colors usually have one core color and then another one they wrap around it.
Oh, so exactly what they did. Okay.
That is because the only example that comes to my mind is the biggest spoiler, so I can't go into it. So yeah.
Well, and I mean, it's not like it's wholly unique. I mean, the idea of there being a primary trait and a smaller or inner secondary trait or something like that.
No. The inner one is the primary one. The other one is the more or less they try to.
Which one is the core or not seems to vary a little, but I've seen the idea of dual traits handled that way. Which again, depending on which creator it is which one is the main trait, quote unquote. But that concept's been around since Undertale came out, and I've seen I don't know, a few dozen AUs like that. Granted, a lot of them are not very well known, so it's pretty much irrelevant. It's not like you have to worry that yours is going to get compared to any of them.
And I do work with multiple, in quotation mark, multiple soul colors when I work with, let's say, in Conquest Tale with the human adults. They all have rather murky colors because at least in mine, I don't know how, if VGR would agree to that, because that is rather my headcanon for Conquest Tale, which in itself has a special place, and thus I can do stuff in there that can be declared not canon for the Omniverse for reasons I'm not going into yet.
Wait a minute, didn't you guys already create a loophole in that though? Because you've already dealt with other questions that have come up about worlds where the rules are a little bit different, and like when they interact with the bar, they interact with other things in the Omniverse.
Yeah, but Conquest Tale is, trust me, that is a whole different story.
Different loophole?
More or less, I will just say yes. So the thing is, in Conquest Tale, it is like that. If you have one of those bright, really more or less primary color, like souls, those are more or less pure. Those are the ones that have one shining of those. There is also, at least in Conquest Tale, brown, which is pretty much egoism as a soul trait, which goes through most of the adult souls, and that usually mixes with the other colors, so they are usually murky. It mixes usually with all of that. So at least that is how I handle it in Conquest Tale, and why when someone with a shining soul comes, it is something special.
Shining soul like we have in the other A's?
Shining like tear.
Okay, just like we have in the other A's.
Yeah. That is.
For example, Russ has one of those.
Yeah, Russ was actually the example I was thinking of when he said it.
Mm. And Squirrel has one of those, and pretty much.
Cyrus has one of those.
Yeah, Cyrus as well.
I mean, Cyrus is everything shiny.
Yeah, we still have to sit down and write up all the tiers and what they unlock.
I actually would do this right now.
Because we have.
It's going to distract from the thing that you're doing.
No, the thing is, I intended to do it while you two were out to walk.
Yeah, but since I was left to walk.
Mm.
Yeah, like I said, we needed it, so.
Yeah.
I hate that.
One thing is all the soul, or rather the predominant shining soul colors do have tiers, and there usually exists a corrupted version for every soul color, and every single soul color has one special thing about it. For example, determination doesn't have much tiers, rather it is a floating point number, as in 0.1, and that also means it is open-ended, which determination can reach infinity more or less, or rather it.
I've always found it interesting that a lot of the fandom accepted that the red soul is called determination, although it's never actually stated as such.
It is if you play the ice hockey ball game.
The what board game?
There is those snowball ice hockey game.
It's Snowden that part.
Because depending on how you do, there comes a colored flag out and a short description, which which names the property that is colored. And when when you do the best course, it will first list all the other soul traits, and all of that combined fills you with determination in red.
But do we know that that's what that soul's actual trait color is? Because we know that you get filled with determination by a lot of things.
Justice is yellow.
I know.
No, they are all others are named like that.
But to my knowledge, nothing else says it fills you with a particular thing either.
Yeah, because you are determination.
Okay, let's see.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not... don't misunderstand what I'm doing with that. It's more the questioning thing, because a lot of people have brought it up, and even the people who look into stuff and research it have brought that up before, that being the... Because I've seen that being the only time it's named, sort of. But again, it talks about you are filled with determination. But then again, if your primary soul trait was already this, then why are you filled with that?
Because your body is filled with the soul.
Okay, so why does an external thing fill you with your soul?
Why does air fill your lungs?
Okay, but that's not a soul thing. That's where I'm getting confused.
And that is the next thing. We have fucking souls. If you have souls, I'm usually go with fuck that shit, because I don't believe in souls. At least until I have invented my own.
Well, that's a conversation I was going to have with you when we were down here, but we'll get to that. That's a complicated conversation.
Yeah, but anyway.
But that said,
or rather, let's put it like that. We had talked about the proto-soul, which has nothing in it,
okay,
for a moment. But in the beginning, Frisk has one of those souls, and it is filled with more or less determination, though in one case determination, and in the other case corrupted determination in a genocide run.
Although the color doesn't change.
Yeah, because determination stays always the same color, whether it's corrupted or not. Because determination is kind of a floating point thing, and it is so bright red, even the black that it's added through the corruption doesn't change it.
Hey, look on the bright side. At least you guys didn't do that thing that a lot of people do, which is souls get corrupted by just general bad things happening to them.
No. Souls get corrupted when the person they're assigned to faces a dilemma, and then they try, and instead of either conceding that this is a thing that they can't do and accepting that, they try to force themselves and try to force their soul.
Well, I would think for the sake of corruption also it would be doing something against your own nature.
Yeah, that isn't the same kind of corruption. That is erosion.
How many did we have for everything? 5?
5 plus a 6 tier that is usually unreachable. By which we mean, of course, it will be reached within the comic.
Of course. Well, I mean, okay. The thing I joked about in the past was that your comic pulls the things can be OP because the scale is ridiculous card. I mean, it's when you're dealing with stuff on the personal level and then some, it's having OP characters and gods and whatnot is necessary.
Yeah, but the thing is, ours are usually the butt of many jokes. They are fallible, so they don't seem very Sue-ish.
Well, I mean, that's just good characters in general, because they're
Yeah.
perfect.
Well, Squirrel is pretty much. Ooh, shiny. What did I say?
Sure, Yeah, totally not being Mary Sue about it.
Totally. Because I am the prettiest and bestest, and if you don't shut your mouth, I will stab your bitch face.
So the grumpy, defensive kind of Mary Sue. Okay.
Oh, and it says you are filled with determination, and not you get filled with determination. It is a state you are in.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I wanted to say. Frisk has the protozoa, and that protozoa gets rather turns into a determination soul throughout the
What was
game.
it before?
Nothing, because Frisk is one of. Okay, my personal theory is it was a pure clarity soul. Because clarity and determination are more or less the two opposites of each other. With determination the highest power level and clarity the lowest.
How are we sure they're the opposites?
No, not really. I mean, opposites of something. How you can? What is the opposite of water? You don't have one.
Right, and not to mention that the concept is strange as well because I don't know how you opposite either of those things, but
Let's put it.
clarity, I can see how you could have an opposite of it, but that wouldn't work as a soul trait. So yeah.
Yeah, and it is more like there is usually one representation of soul, and the one of clarity and determination are usually in a kind of are usually interconnected in some way. Either it's a usually it's a rivalry kind of thing, but that differs as well. And the thing is, you are filled with determination. Not something fills you.
Keep in mind, the whole point of me saying that stuff is to question something. I'm not sitting there saying.
And the thing I personally thinking is, what else would our soul color be? Would our soul be?
There's a lot of different theories about that.
Yeah.
They call it epsity. I'm trying to make sure I'm actually pronouncing that word right because words, man.
I'm gonna check.
Ipsity, which is the basically it's being true to yourself.
That is the stupidest soul color ever.
It's a trait, not the soul color that mattered. It's a term. It's just the terminology for it. It's a more common. Okay, to be fair, they're French, and that's a more common trait you hear in that culture.
I am still saying that it's for a soul the dumbest trait ever, because it's because that is like a vase that is shaped like itself. How is it shaped?
Well, a vase is not something that's going to be able to change its shape based on an act of will, whereas a soul and a person.
No. The thing is, when you try to describe it, a vase shaped like itself.
Yeah.
How is it?
Okay, I guess I'm a little confused by the comparison there, but
Because that is
because it's not something flexible.
Okay then. Or rather, yes, of course it is flexible. Before it is burned, a vase is just clay. So the thing is, for me, a soul is like clay.
To be fair, this isn't a word I picked, okay?
No, not even, but the whole being true to yourself. I mean, it is a thing that is shaped like itself. That is like, there is nothing behind it. It is shaped like itself. There is no actual substance.
It's not being shaped like itself. It's okay. The idea they had, and again, this is me describing someone else's idea to you. Well, you got really pissed off and freaked out about it. So
I just had to I just had to get my complaining out so that I can let you finish without me interrupting.
Okay. The way their theory on it worked was this: the being true to yourself thing is in itself a trait. It is rare because it is normally not a primary trait. It is normally, it would be like saying willpower itself is the trait, when usually it's willpower that is the thing that determines the direction of a soul. But this is taking the idea that this is a rare soul trait because it is, rather than being a normal trait, it is what normally enacts on a trait. So, because people who are absolutely true to themselves, whether for good or bad, absolutely true to whatever their thought process, if you're going to be a pacifist, or you're going to be somebody who murders everyone, being absolutely true to that idea is rare as hell, especially among humans. So, normally, being true to a given trait in general is difficult, but possible, kind of. You can be true to it, but you wind up somewhere else in the spectrum. This is taking that being true to self and making it the trait itself.
Okay, I understand it. I still have a few problems with it. One of them is it still sounds like a thing shaped like itself, because that is actually a saying in rationalism. That is when you have. It is more like God exists because God exists argumentation. You have a soul that is true to itself. You have a soul trait. If you have it, let's say, as a secondary trait, even then I am like... But that is more of a personal gripe, because I still haven't really internalized that there are people out there who aren't true to themselves.
Well, that's like 90-something% of the populace, so...
Yeah, but that is why I won't go into that. But more of the... because I'm still going into the as a pure primary trait. Because the thing is, if you are true to yourself, but that is the only thing you are, what are you?
Whichever direction the conscious mind chooses to take it. So
No,
each individual changes it.
Conscious mind and souls are linked. Always.
Linked, yes.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
and
the direction you take it.
No, and the link is both ways. So you can't have a pure soul that is, let's say,
Think of it like decisiveness in this case. We'll use that as a terminology, okay?
You mean determination?
But it's not quite the same way, because determination is something
No.
where...
Perseverance.
No, and that's
No. I want to
to
say something. Perseverance and determination are usually.
They're too close anyway. I never did like
Yeah, and that is why determination itself is the name for the self-containedness.
Except that still bothers me, because in normal speech, those are treated as almost interchangeable terms.
Yes, and in
the
normal
culture the person who created it came from. Anyway.
And the thing is, most likely determination sounds awesome. Don't forget, he had to market it.
I know.
And why
And
else
it's
would there
also
be
like the
determination and perseverance? Because when you do the snowball, ice hockey, golf thing.
Let's just call it ice hockey golf. Yeah.
Yeah, if you do the ice hockey golf thing, it more or less says that determination is in itself every other soul color, every other trait. Because determination in itself is that you are not bound to one thing. You are just bound to yourself.
Okay. The issue I always had was is, and I guess this, after all, because you can make anything in a movie, but I really think that there was a little bit of, not laziness exactly, but there was a moment of not knowing what else to call something when you pick perseverance as being one of the other traits. Because, again, they're too close together. And this has been a problem from the beginning.
Yes, and that is why I am currently suggesting what determination actually is. It means to determine something.
Yes, I understand that. But, okay. I suppose decisiveness would maybe be another way of referring to it in the case of this argument, but it's still for the argument before, it's still God exists because God exists, though. It's Because
Yeah, it
all
is
of the
still-
other traits can be decisive about themselves, but this one is just that pure decisiveness, and only the conscious mind determines the direction that goes.
Yeah,
It's still the same argument.
that is actually something that is more or less a winning mind, a malleable mind. Those are rare, they exist, they are really just more or less something formless. It isn't that they
It's
are...
formless until you just choose to give it one.
Yeah, no, until they themselves choose.
That's what I mean.
And that is the more or less the thing, what I personally think determination is, while clarity as such is the no power version of that. You don't have the fancy schmancy powers of everything, but you are as such as malleable as determination. That is why it's opposite.
I guess where I'm confused here is that in the end you are agreeing with the thing you were disagreeing with a few minutes ago by the sound of it.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't have really a word for that proto-mass. Because the thing is with our soul and mind, or rather it is like this, that the determination is the mind. And Frisk doesn't have a soul, or rather it only has a soul mass. The mind is determination. The soul is everything else.
I suppose. Wasn't that in many ways more or less what you said clarity is?
Exactly, that is why I said they are opposites.
It doesn't sound like opposites, it sounds like the same thing.
Yes, the same thing, but different interpretations. While determination is emotions-based, clarity is logic-based.
No, I would almost say that determination, well, if you use determination the way it's used in, like, normal speak, it's whatever the decision is with willpower behind it.
Yeah, and that
Not
usually
emotion.
is...
In fact, a lot of times determination is very specifically not with emotion. It's very specifically that decisiveness and it's the willpower behind a decision. It's the willpower moving forward.
I personally see it as still as part of the emotional spectrum.
Not to mention they actually refer to it as being willpower in the game. So.
Yeah.
Okay, let me overlook the
Okay, let us finish this first, because that might influence how we do the rest of the thing.
Okay, then I'm gonna finish outlining the play page first. Because I guess that. What now?
Somewhat time.
The next Jestale page.
Ah.
Not yesterday, actually. That's one of the twice in the lifetime pages.
Oh, so the next Justice page, more or less.
More or less, yeah.
But I think people want to see more of justice anyways.
Well, the thing is, why I didn't agree was because I didn't think about it yet. Rather, because the thing is, willpower or whatever is part of the mind, not part of the soul.
Why are you very sure?
Because I can't find my house shoes.
Okay. The Sans has lost their slippers. This is like a crime. Where have you looked? Where have you looked for them?
That doesn't matter. We are currently in the middle of a discussion.
What? We can have a discussion and you could look under stuff.
So the thing is, determination. The problem that I had with determination, or rather with that whole self-containedness, shaped like itself thing, is mostly because so many people make. It's just, yes, it is shaped like itself. But now that I think about it, if you have a mind, if you really say that the soul is nothing more than an energy container that is influenced by the mind, as in it isn't really, it is more a representation of how your mind is instead of it is something that affects your mind, then I could see it being shaped like itself, because...
I think that actually, in my mind, is the difference. It's part of... That's what makes it something rare, that's what makes it unusual, is that it is being... And this is where I can see, again, the clarity of determination being more or less the same thing in your version. Where normally the soul and the mind are interconnected and both influence each other more or less equally, and either influenced by mind and emotion, blah, 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 blah. But if you shift that one particular direction to where it is being completely... the mind is driving the ship completely, and it isn't receiving any influence really the other way, then that's where you get that, you know, the pure version of that, so to speak.
Yeah, so that is people who are flexible, whose minds are flexible, and as such their souls, while others are, let's say, they have a soul, and that is like a feedback. You go in some way, your soul is formed like that, and that soul gives you feedback. That, if you put it like that, then everyone actually has more or less only a mass of energy that is shaped by how you think.
Well, I think again, in most people's cases, the door swings both ways. I think it's if you're going to have the feedback at all, then it's a loop.
Yeah, I did say feedback loop, didn't I?
But you said that if that's the case, then most people would be...
No. Most people would have it at the beginning, but few people can.
At the beginning, okay. Which, yeah, I mean, and most people would point out that, you know, if you go with the idea of there being such a thing as a proto-soul, then that's what most people would start with. The difference is, and what would make it very rare, is if it were to remain like that.
Not necessarily. It doesn't have to remain like that. It can turn back into it. If
Well,
you have
yeah, you could hope that.
yeah, if you have a mind that is flexible, if you have someone who doesn't just, you know, this is my idea and I do the blah 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 blah, like, you know, 90 all of those people who are just, you know, once they have something, have an opinion, they will defend it even in the face of truth. And if you are like that, then you have a normal soul, like justice, etc.
Yeah. You're defined by just that one ideal and whatever goes along with it, yeah.
But there are few, though not as few as you might think. I mean, if I hear few
How many have
people...
you met?
My whole family.
That's not much.
What's me?
How many people have...
I did say my whole family.
How many people have you met in school? You gotta think of it like this. You've met, let's be...
No, if I hear few, in my mind it is 2 people.
Okay. I'm talking... Okay.
Yeah, no, I know how you're talking, but okay, let's just put the few in the few, and it's still not as few because some people can change if someone else tries to. It is very rare that people can change by themselves. Some people can be influenced to change.
Well, if we're talking in the context of a soul color or, you know, soul trait, in that type of context, I'm not so sure though that somebody would go from having a completely different specific soul color trait to that one.
I'm now talking again about monkey souls, not shining souls.
Well,
Because
yeah,
the
but if that's the case, monkey souls aren't really going to become that anyway, are they? Because that would require them to become that flexible.
No, Mandy soul. The thing is, Mandy souls can be changed in big fat quotation marks more easily by those who have a shining soul color, because those do represent them. They usually just can only change it into their own way. That is more or less the...
So you're talking just about a proto-soul becoming whatever its main soul color is, not a main soul color becoming a determination or clarity soul.
That is... no, you are... if your mind has to be... You are clarity or determination from the second when you're born.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't learn to be flexible.
Right.
And the thing is...
That's where I was getting confused in what you were explaining, because the wording confused me, because when you said that that Mondays are more easily influenced and that they can all change and
Yeah,
making it sound like you did that.
but I never ever included clarity or
But you
determination.
didn't say that. That was what we were talking about at the beginning of this conversation. And you shifted it, but you never actually made that statement.
Now I could do. Now I could say something really, well, more or less dumb. Yeah, dumb, stupid, and mean like. Then try to
Oh, by
keep
all
up.
means, go for it.
Yeah, then try to keep up.
The problem with the try to keep up is that the entire point for me, I told you about the conversation, was to make sure I have all the terminology and all of the information correct. Which means that you have to make sure that that terminology is included.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your bad.
Mm-hmm.
Professor Squirrel fucked up.
Yeah, and one of the main things why I don't like answering those questions on the website is because I don't have, I can't get immediate feedback. I usually can only do it like this. I love answering those questions, in fact, but not when I have to write them and then people like blah, 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 and then it becomes wall of text because I can do it faster if I am in a direct.
Unfortunately, that's the other problem, is that it kind of has to become a wall of text, because otherwise you don't have time to even explain all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So, and this is why early on all of the stuff I tried to communicate was walls of text, because I wanted to understand more things. Because it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it doesn't help that I was also trying to question things, and that's harder to actually put in text than you think.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, because it is.
If you don't know what I'm doing, it sounds like I'm being indecisive. It sounds like I'm taking all the sides at once, which I suppose in a way is what I'm doing, but I'm doing it because I'm trying to get either...
The people say that you're taking all the sides on the issue. What do you want to answer to that? Yes, yes, I did. Now we have it surrounded and can execute it.
Oh my god, yes. Oh. But you're going to kill it? No, I mean execute it like a command. But yeah, it's because I like the idea of it's taking all the sides at once and asking all the questions at once, because that's how you find out things, and it's fun and far more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Play with all the ideas. Maybe. Maybe make up a whole different one, because none of the answers are accepted. But that's I gotta make sure that this did not fuck up and not get me lost in, because it's doing that a lot. It is, again. Tell me whenever you're ready to do anything.
Okay, now that we have clarity and determination is more or less something that is influenced by the mind, we can do this.
Okay, wait.
Okay,
Wait, I'll finish this. No.
okay. With which one do you want to start?
Clarity.
Oh, clarity.
I already have the first two. I hope I've got
Think
them right.
fast, future vision.
Think fast is 1, future vision is 2.
The third one would be hive mind.
Alright.
I have no idea what the fourth one would be, but I'm not yet at least. The fifth is the fractal future vision, and 6 is fractal future vision that you can actually change.
So change in future.
Mm-hmm. More or less what Squirrel does.
Okay, bravery.
Oh no, wait. No, wait. Six was more or less the combination of. Is the combination of all lower tiers together. Bravery. Okay. First one is of course. Boo.
Strength.
Strength. Yeah.
seconded.
I would actually put as the second increased speed.
Okay.
Or rather, improved movement. Put it like that.
I'll be well with increased speed. That?
Okay, well, the next one, I don't think we already have one. I only know that we have something for 5 and 6.
Okay, 5 and 6 was what?
5 is Hellfire, and 6 is Shellfire.
Alright. Okay, patience.
Level 1 was the, more or less phasing through attacks by not doing stuff.
Stand still. Two. I guess 2 was sneaking. I guess 2 was sneaking.
Invisibility. Would make sense. He's eating his own fist. But not my finger.
Okay.
So whether that remains to depends on what other cool powers we will find.
Which one was the time thingy?
The slowed time is 4 and time control is 5. Or rather, time acceleration is 5 and 6 would be more or less control or would be complete control over all flow of time, even backwards.
Okay. Determination.
Doesn't have tears.
But we have at least stuff we can do.
Yeah, and that is whatever the other soul colors can do, only at a tier lower.
Plus the whole shifts they can do.
Yeah, plus the whole undying
like
thing.
refuse and stuff.
Yeah, refuse to die is one of those determination. I mean, clarity could, if a clarity 5 soul can do everything that other colors do at level 1, while a determination 2 soul can do the same. But it refuses should be the lowest level.
Yeah. Look, where should I put reset?
I would actually put that at either 4 or 3.
Okay, let's do that for you.
Then in 2 is remembering. And then 4 could be absorption.
Which color is that for?
Determination. Or should we make absorption determination power or not?
Yeah. I would say so. No, then I would put it way higher because there's only one person who can do that.
Yeah, make it the either 5, 6 or 7 because determination has. Let's put it as 5 plus.
Okay. I don't know what I put it at 6.
No. Oh yeah, put it at 6 and then because it's determination, there's of course a tier 7.
Okay.
Which is more or less bending reality to your will, as in real reality control. Even things that are immune to reality control because it is fucking determination 7.
Is altering the codes determination?
Yeah, I would put it as determination 0 though.
Okay.
Don't forget, we also have 0.
Now you have to keep in mind everything that is below 1 is a thing Pointy also can do.
Yeah, but the. Oh, okay. And then I would. Could we put it at determination 4?
Sure.
Yeah, that would actually make sense with Chara being all like, yeah, resetting that is like baby stuff. I can alter the code.
Okay, then there's only 5 and 0 left. If we do a 0 then, that is.
With 0 I could 0 is a 0 I could actually determine.
Use the other stuff.
Yeah. And 5 I would, and as 5 I would put put endless growth, because determination can grow and grow and grow and.
Okay.
Then
Justice.
justice is mostly your bet.
Oh boy.
1 was check, or was that 0?
That was 1.
0
0 is, I think,
shooting a bullet.
yeah, shooting.
Which, by the way, means Cyrus can shoot bullets.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he does a Kamehameha.
Not that he needs to.
No, he does it because it's cool.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Or he can do the Rasengan.
Actually, that would kind of be cool. It'd be far more effective.
Kamehameha, I mean Rasengan.
We have checked what everything we have.
As the 5th tier, we had in question, is Karma Justice 0?
That would make sense.
Yeah, because that.
Either 0 or 2.
No, I would make the thing is, because every sense can do karma. It is hard to put because most senses would be able to. So we could put it as clarity 0.
You know those things where it's a matter of
Sounds
degrees?
good.
Huh?
Could be something where it's a matter of degrees. The Sans that we see as an example is simply just that much stronger and able to use the karma thing to a better
No,
effect.
I personally think karma is you are forced to face your own wrongdoings, and that actually means that you have to have a flexible mind to force someone to see those failures. So it should be clarity 0.
Most of the senses can do this though.
Huh?
Most of the senses in general can do this though.
Yeah, all senses, all of those who see beyond the time are clarity 0. Because I can actually think that is the requirement
So
to see the door.
So, Edgy, for example, is bravery ends.
Yeah, every one of them is because clarity is
Okay.
because that we just our discussion pretty much ended in clarity is less a soul trait, pure soul trait color, but more of a modifier.
So
It
the
means
thing that is rare is the like
it's a pure clarity though.
Okay.
If someone clarity 0 is rather is, let's say, more common than a pure.
The funny thing is, for clarity, I have the most examples of what's this.
Right? You know why? That's because he makes so many of them.
No,
I actually.
I did one.
Ah.
I did one. She did the rest.
No, you did 2.
Which one?
The King Meadow.
Oh yeah. Oh, and Hollow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's why I was thinking you have quite a few clarity.
Right.
The thing is, in the beginning it was only Squirrel, and then after that we were like, okay, and he has to be clarity because fuck you.
So, well, because
I actually had it only to get itchier as the other one, but then the third happened. The sense I'm working on.
currently.
Hmm.
I didn't plan to make him a clarity. It's just he said he is a clarity, so I guess it's all right.
I think he just really likes making things clear to people.
Yeah.
There's a certain bias there.
Okay, back to justice. Where did we put judgment?
The final judgment, that was 5.
Okay.
If you mean the one where their deeds are actually, weighed against each other.
Fixing history should be 4, right?
Now, time travel is 4.
Okay, I wouldn't say time travel, but fixing history. So something justice. What now?
It's if you're going to say it's fixing history, then it's not quite the same as just pure time travel. It's something more. It has more parameters.
Yeah.
Actually, it is more. One of the things is if he fixes history, he has to set it up in a way that he is notified in the future that he has to fix history. More or less, the first time he hears about a problem, he can go back in time, fix it, but he has to set it up in a way that he still fixes it. It is not paradox free. He has to calculate paradoxes in.
Okay, did we have anything else for justice so far?
Except for the and we should put it as fairness from now on, because justice is our divine fairness. Hmm.
Is it bad that I looked at them and all I could think is it story shift, Chara? They're literally redheads in a green hoodie.
Yeah, I know it's not bad.
So I guess we didn't have anything else for justice, no?
Not really.
Okay, then let's...
So there could be a few things. Oh, wasn't there something like locking people up or making them unable to move, like handcuffs?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Also, that sounds more like something some people would simply be able to do is manifesting their magic. Maybe when they handcuffs, it seems like simple basics now.
But, which brings me to perseverance.
1 strings, or is that 0?
No, 1, I think 1 is strings.
Well, yeah, that would make sense. It would have to be 1 anyway, because you said that 0 is accessed by too many things, and the so you had the soul bond. You had the soul bond to pick up the string ability.
Yeah. So what do we have for 0?
Now, would that be instead of like how gravity works, limiting somebody's movement to within a line?
That is actually what our strings is.
I thought those strings can manipulate a bunch of stuff outside of the parameters of like a battle, like a lot.
Now then 0 would be limited strings, more or less.
More or less. Like directional strings versus just absolute control of the strings.
Or rather trap strings, not something you can control, but something...
My limit of movement, like, outside 0.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I actually like that. I like trap strings, how they're like your tripwire almost kind of words.
None of us can words.
Or
That is why we write fanfics.
which one of the goals is for me to make some progress on that shit during the like significant freaking progress.
Perseverance 5, we had learning. When you take some level epic stuff and absorb it and make it your own.
the things are stupid.
Yeah, Lusty actually managed to copy Deep's.
That is still one of my favorite parts, you know.
You mean when he absorbed it and like Freedom and Deep like what the fuck did just happen?
We just use custom.
Yes, he just took a piece of one of your spells and used it. Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you all. Because let's see the secret of that.
Okay.
What else do we have? I think that is the one where we had where we more or less had nothing for.
The one we have almost nothing for is integrity, because I have there's nobody coming in my mind who actually has an integrity. So.
Yeah, but one thing for 5 that I can imagine is rewriting the local geometry.
What?
It is more or less controlling space.
Why don't you say that
I
then?
think bending space might be a way of, since people are used to that kind of terminology.
Okay, let's do that. And space, and one should be gravity.
Yeah. But, I mean, I noticed that these play up both on their abilities that are like the game versions, but then also what the trait represents. So, something involving truth ought to be in there someplace. Because it would share things in common with justice in some ways. Which would, you know.
Everything I could use for justice, determine lies.
Can any of these share that ability more or less? Or
Yes.
Something that's the same? Because that seems like that would be a
Clarity.
Well, that's not quite what I meant, but...
Oh, you mean giving someone else? That would be kindness.
I lost it. What?
Sharing your ability with someone else is.
Yeah, that would fit for kindness. Anyway, determine lies.
So you'd need something like a stronger version of that than integrity. Just determining whether something's a lie. Actually, that means something the difference between reveal truth, like the ability to actually show or project something the way it really is.
That would be. Yeah, that would be definitely be justice.
That's an integrity. Because it's truth.
And also the which one?
Okay, I'm also lost.
Okay. Because you're saying that's a justice ability, but then how would you define for the concept behind what integrity would be? Because integrity is truth.
Yeah, that could.
After all, justice is more about the consequences, so to speak, of your, right and wrong and whatnot. But integrity is, again, it's supposed to be about truth itself.
Actually,
In some ways. Although it certainly explains why
Oh,
in
yeah.
a judgment you have both blue and yellow.
yeah.
But it's light blue as far as I can
Yeah.
always see.
Although regular blue is definitely being used on you.
Yeah. He pretty much uses all colors except for kindness.
Use bravery.
No.
Not
There is no bravery, there is no kindness.
Well, dude, you sure as fuck don't get any kindness at that point. Fuck that.
Yeah. And again, there's the question if maybe integrity and justice can use that one.
That's why I asked the question of whether or not there are two
Yeah, I
things.
understand that.
Maybe just at different levels.
Kind of quite feeling for justice as well.
Well, how about this?
For
Here's
this
this thought.
guy who is more or less a believer in the whole thing.
Well, here's a thought. For justice, for the sake of what it is, at a lower level, you would have something where like a detect lies or something to that effect, where, because it's important for justice to be able to determine what is and is not true.
Detect lies and see truth are two different things.
Right. The difference is that I was saying with truth, one of the things you can have it do is actually the ability to, well, for one, you shouldn't be able to deceive a integrity soul in the first place, like, at all.
Or rather, you need some level epic powers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you'd have to be high freaking level to deceive an integrity soul. Unlike justice, where justice you have to be able to determine truth from lie. But I was more thinking, like, at a higher level, it's something where you can reveal truth, which is to say,
that sounds like integrity.
It's being able to reveal something for what it is, or project something that has happened for others to be able to see as well. So, yeah. I can't explain things very well. But in a practical sense, it also means the ability to break illusions.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that is an illusion or an altered form or anything like that could be broken at a higher level with integrity.
Yeah, that makes sense. But so that should be integrity 2 or something like that.
Break illusions.
Hmm. So and I would say integrity's thing is the higher your tier is, the more, let's say, souped up your lower tier powers get as
I was
well.
wondering about that. That makes sense. Which, again, that explains the karma thing and why it's, depending on who's using it, it would be far more potent.
Yeah.
The damage you would take, I mean, I would think the damage you would take is a combination of how bad your sins are, but also who's using the ability. Kind of like, a person who's not very good with it couldn't make you feel very guilty for the things you've done, but a person who is gonna make it turn around for you.
How did you manage that?
Did he get out of his outfit again?
No.
Oh.
He kind of got that outfit from... It hung there and then it...
Oh, he pulled it down?
Yeah.
Okay.
He must have grabbed it. He grabbed it, please. He grabbed it.
He's a grab baby.
Okay. Do everybody think that's a perseverance though?
Well, another thing, and one thing I disagree with my one for they made a tree also for steadfastness, which they're too close, but basically perseverance is being steadfast. It's your immovable wall. So I'm not translate that into. Because part of the thing about being perseverance is being able to withstand this wall. Tank!
Yeah. It's actually my fear.
Because patience something can pass through it, but perseverance can stand there through the storm and it will still hit it, but it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Rather, so more or less a shield, a personal shield. Or rather, high pain tolerance, you could say.
It is high pain tolerance. It's high emotional and mental pain tolerance. It's very much what
It
perseverance
fits
is.
to Rusty better.
Actually, you could just call it steadfastness, since that really is like one of the tiers of it, because it really is. It would be very near, and again, you'd have to have your epic level abilities to break a person with a soul limit.
So epic level abilities start at tier 3, to be honest.
Which it would make sense then to put that at tier 3 as well, because that says you'd have to be equal to it or greater to even have a chance to.
Yeah.
And if you're equal to it, then it's.
So how should I call this one? Wall?
Steadfast.
Because I mean that means the same thing more. Or less.
Or hardiness.
Hardiness.
Okay, because I have not got my idea how to
I cannot tell you how many times I have done that by the way, where I had a word where I had
I hope
so no idea how to spell it that I was like, I'm gonna pick a different word.
I hope at some point somebody is going to explain all the abilities of perseverance, because this one and lastly,
What else do you have? Like, or what do you
I was simply calling that thing hardness.
Hardiness.
True. Maybe that was a bad choice.
Oh no, not at all. It's been so much.
It's so good.
And it is hardiness, which is like Hardiness.
Okay.
But hard is still in there. And yes, he would still make the joke because any self-respecting perverted adult would.
It's just of course it does.
Any one of okay, let's be honest. Everyone in the bar except like Dream and Scouty would. But Lusty's like obligated.
Okay. What else?
Okay, what do you have for it so far?
0 limited movement, 1 strings, 2 nothing, 3 hardiness, and 5 learning.
Or rather, learning the hard way.
This is gonna be just a thing, isn't it?
And you started it.
It's
I did
Again.
nothing.
Yes, and that is why you started it.
Okay, on to what is 2 in terms of
It depends on the power, because clarity 2 is future vision.
okay, we don't talk about clarity 2. Clarity doesn't count.
Yeah, mostly
For
because
everything else, what is 2 more or less?
Or let's say for bravery, it's increased speed.
What is it? What was it for justice?
For justice, it's determined lies.
Okay, so it is it's practical too, which is an important thing.
It's the thing that not everybody can, but
Well, actually, you know what would make thinking how to translate the problem is most of these are they're not personal things. Like they're stuff you would use on someone else. Because it would almost say, basically what I was thinking for that is, I mean, if they can be a more quote-unquote internal thing, is their mind cannot be changed in the sense that, or not that it can't be changed, but like, it would take a great deal in order to sway them.
oh yeah.
Because perseverance is, to put it another way, also stubbornness. Like, stubbornness, refined.
Well, so more or less, we have a hard mind and a hard body.
Yes. It is somebody who's mentally
Thick-skulled.
Yes.
Thick-skulled.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it really is. Because it would also help against if someone like that is ever fighting anyone who has abilities that can pierce through, like to their mind or, influence it or anything like that, that makes them far more resistant to that. Because there really does need to be a balancing factor there.
in other terms, Squirrel couldn't suck his mind very easily.
Not as easily.
Squirrel.
Well, okay, squirrel doesn't count.
Let's put it like that. Most mindfuckers couldn't
Right.
at all.
Squirrel is squirrel level, and that's just.
Okay, then there's only left the fourth and the bot tier.
God tier is 6.
The fourth tier already is something. I mean, for patience, it's.
Oh, I just had a
taking time.
weird thought. Wait a second. What soul color were you picturing Error to have?
Integrity.
So we have an integrity, actually.
Because I was going to say, unless that was set in stone, because the concept of strings taken to a higher degree would actually fit really well for that. Because if you think about it, it's still a string ability, but on crack. It's just shy of being a god tier level string ability anyway at that point. So.
What exactly? I'm kind of lost.
Well, okay, I was thinking, okay, for Perseverance has the ability with strings in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But you were saying that Error was an integrity soul, but I was questioning if either he has access to a Perseverance thing, or if maybe he actually would turn out to be Perseverance. Not actually sure. But the thought process there is that actually might be a high level Perseverance trait, because again, I noticed that some of your tiers here, you have a lower form, and then the really crazy badass stuff is like the super amped up version of them, with access to more broken abilities. And what Error can do, well, not exactly what Error can do, but some of the broken stuff he can do is his strings, like grabbing people's souls and fucking around with them, all that kind of fun stuff.
No, that sounds like integrity, a high level. Because bearing the soul in front of you.
Bearing the soul is one thing, but integrity would only be looking for truth, whereas Error actually has the ability to pull a person's soul out and manipulate it, which is still, again, a string.
So one of the higher thingies from integrity should be mind control.
Yeah, actually, I think we had that as one of the.
Possible.
Because you are master of a truth at the god level.
I'm going to put this as 4, I think.
4 or 6, yeah. Put it 4.
Mind control and integrity.
Mind control 4. Mind creation 6.
Alright, that's one. Oh, didn't we put this for kindness actually? We had something like that for kindness, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, that was kindness 6. That is soul creation.
So the big question is now, is mind creation and soul creation the same thing?
The problem with integrity having it anyway is that would imply that it's...
Or we could mind altering use as 6.
Yeah, because it would make more sense for kindness to have the ability to create like that.
Yeah, and mind.
He can create, but he can alter.
Yeah. Mind forming.
Okay.
Like that is a god level stuff where you just take a mind and make with it whatever you want.
You said that for kindness or the integrity you were talking about.
Mind forming is integrity. Kindness is soul creation. They can simply make his soul out of nothing.
Well, I guess that rules out using a higher level string thing for Perseverance, though, because anything else is going to sound too close to what Error does. So we need to come up with something else.
Plus, arrow strings are actually the tier 5 with the changing of the local gravity, or rather, with more or less he rips space apart like he wants, and it looks like he can do all of that stuff. Because he is the master of space.
In other terms, he has an integrity 5 soul.
Yeah.
Rodello trying to still figure out what to do for Perseverance is the problem.
Yeah.
4 or 6?
4 and 6.
Oh. Ho, 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 ho. Well, since so many of your really, really high level things have to do with influencing or creating and stuff like that, depends whether you want them to be able to straight up like be that wall for others, or whether you want them to be able to break other people's. Because since one of their abilities is that thick skull kind of thing, where it's very hard to swing or to break through, if you're somebody who's perseverant and efficient with learning and everything else, eventually you would become very, very adept at breaking through other people's defense. Now, how you want to translate that into abilities, I'm not entirely sure, because you have to be careful it doesn't become too OP.
All of the 6 are OP.
I know,
I'm
I'm trying to
just
figure out with
excited.
4 and 6 how to make that, you know.
Ignoring armor.
I mean, you could make 6 literally a limit break equivalent. Because it's, yeah.
Ignoring armor for this?
Armor piercing, or rather finding the fault in an armor.
More like spot opening. Because it could be mental as well. In fact, mental would be especially effective because in the case of something like Lusty, it's being able to see,
Actually seeing all the break point.
yeah, actually that's good.
That's good.
Because
Think about it, all the stuff he's been through, he'd be especially good at seeing where other people's breaking points are for the things they've been through.
Yeah.
and more or less, then 4 could be more or less seeing the history of someone.
Which would be the break point.
No, the break point is not just seeing the history, but
Okay, but where do we put the break point then?
that is 6, because you
Okay.
literally see how you can break someone within the next 5 minutes. And that it goes for everyone you face. So in some cases in very, very rare cases, there is just run. For example, Shadow. You can't break Shadow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
At least not with...
Shadow's the only one that can break Shadow.
that
We're
ends,
working on that.
that and Squirrel can actually, because Squirrel eats Shadow.
Squirrel! Squirrel doesn't count as has
Yeah.
been determined.
In integrity, we only have left 0 and 3 actually. And
Squirrel is
nothing
the
else
only
What
one
is
that
what is the blue power again?
Integrity.
Yeah, is it 0 or 1?
I have gravity as 1.
How do the zeros work?
The zeros are more or less,
Stuff every monster can use.
more or less.
Well then how about this? Instead of something as like gravity, just do simple low telekinesis. Because as you said,
Yeah,
the higher you get, the more potent it is no matter what. But a lot of monsters would be able to move an object, but to be able to control the gravity of an object would take more skill.
Where I'm still not sure how to use this one. Can somebody with a blue soul or using blue powers actually do telekinesis like at this cookie or only at the soul?
It should honestly be for objects around it because you're simply using magic on an inanimate object. In fact, I would think it would actually be more difficult using it on a soul because now it's your soul level versus their soul level. If they really don't want to be
Yeah,
moved.
that is integrity 1. That is soul. That is more or less soul gravity.
Right. If they don't want to be moved, now it's, to put it in role-playing game terms, it's a difficulty check against their soul level.
Okay, then
Yeah, and the thing is, you don't just grab their body, you grab their soul.
Right. But grabbing an object is different. It's simple to wrap your magic around an inanimate object that has no soul, just go whee.
Okay, now we only need 3.
For integrity?
What do we have as 2 again?
Break illusions.
And 4 is?
Mind control.
4.
Yes.
And what's 5?
Bending space.
Okay, didn't we have like see truth as one of the integrity ones?
I haven't put this one in that yet. Wasn't that break illusions?
Breaking illusions would be like the simplified form. Think of it like the difference between moving the object or a soul.
Yeah, and seeing truth means you can also see behind deception.
Also, again, I would think being able to project that, to reveal it to others, because there's a difference between being able to
See
break
something
and
or
see an illusion and being able to reveal.
Reveal truth.
Yeah.
That is the name.
Reveal truth was what I was really going for the mid-level one. Because if you think about it,
Yeah, that's
if
right.
someone has figured out a way to make themselves look like something else or appear to be even a different soul color, if you could reveal that to other people, that's a game-changing ability.
Mm-hmm. And Arrow can do that.
Yep. Actually, he seems like the kind of person who would take a great deal of pleasure in doing that, actually. Especially with his absolute hatred for anything that he considers a mistake or a glitch or
That would
etc.
actually explain why he's so obsessed with them. He has an integrity though, and he just sees everything as faulty.
Which really explains a lot of his way to think. Because this is the reason why he starts doing this whole thing in the first place. I don't know how much you've seen of the Arrow's after.
Not as nearly like you have bits and pieces of it over
Okay.
time.
At one point, he more or less told Cyrus his backstory, his origin, how he started the stuff. And it was he came to an alien spectral tale or something, where everybody is a ghost. And he didn't know it until Toriel realized that he's not the center of the world. He popped up there occasionally because he wanted to have the old days back and got there and he's not making off and stuff. At one point she realized that isn't her sense because she never told him her name. He called her Tori. Comes out and Arrow is like, no, that's not right, this is wrong. You shouldn't be a ghost. No, nobody, you should be a ghost. What's wrong with you? You are glitches.
Well, at that point, his mind was fragile, and I could see it's your worldview just got shattered.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And corrupted integrity.
Yeah, and it's right, and that's what I figured it was. Is it's a corrupted version of the idea. Which he's gonna be a lot of fun when he stops being crazy.
I have an idea what could be clarity for actually. I'm not sure how to say this one. Hiding?
Purification.
Yeah. Yeah, actually you wanted to have this one anyway, don't you?
What is this again?
This would cure corrupted soul.
Yeah, and which tier is it?
4 for clarity?
Clarity 4. Okay. Purification has clarity 4.
Or should this
Shouldn't it be higher?
Or should this be or should this be a kind?
This sounds more like a kindness ability.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds more kind.
In the realm of healing concepts, that sounds.
Yeah, plus, I mean, clarity 2 is see the future.
Yeah.
Clarity 3 is you can actually link up with other monsters and more or less can see them, can do what they can do. And clarity 5 is that you can actually accelerate, see into multiple branching futures. And clarity 6 is you can do everything at once, which means you can sync up with every single future version of yourself and become one all-knowing organism.
Be blind.
Yeah, that is why Squirrel only does it to rewrite reality when Muffet dies.
We have to do kindness not anyway. So kindness.
Well, I was gonna say, we said what, like 3 different ones throughout this.
Should healing be Should healing
And that is actually
should healing be 0 or 1?
One thing we have for kindness is that for every tier there are multiple. There is code healing, there is purification is a
Well, here's the thought. Healing could be a 0, but
Since there are so many monsters who actually use healing.
yeah, no, here's the thing. Think about it like this, right? Healing can be 0 because a lot of monsters use it even just in their normal attacks, right? It's very common. But the shielding thing that Undyne manages to do,
that's one.
that's kind of unique. So
yeah, normal healing is 0. Because I mean, freaking Washu are using healing.
But that shielding thing is that's
Okay, then what is shield?
fix it for kindness anyway.
Yep.
Two or three could be mass healing.
I would say 3.
Oh, and mass and two would that be the more or less specialization you take, whether it is code, whether it's soul, whether it is bodies.
Which makes sense because that was one of the things I was working with.
Okay,
Because
then
remember
let's call
that
this one specialization.
because for one of the bands around mine, if you remember, is green. That was one of the things over the stupid span of time that I wound up doing was specializing in inventing other types of ways to heal things. But that took.
So another interesting thing, which one is the Phoenix? Well, applied.
The Phoenix power is 5.
Okay.
Then wouldn't 4 be the purification effect?
Yeah. And 6 is create soul.
Okay. You got this?
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, because
Well,
that is the one.
process of elimination, kinda.
Yeah, and we actually put the most thought into kindness.
Well, not only that, but I mean, it's kind of process of elimination. Through doing a lot of the other ones, there was it's this and this and this. Also, did you give up on the fries or whatever else you were making?
Just too lazy. Eat it
Sorry,
raw.
Caleb.
So then the stupid question comes, so what are we eating?
Hot
I know
dogs.
what you're eating.
Hot dogs.
You do have to mind that she also has to eat.
Mm. We still have rolls, we still have hot dogs, wieners.
Well, I was gonna say, definitely not going to make a roast at 11 o'clock at night.
Nope.
So there's hot dogs. Got it. So the hot dogs for food. Actually, I think we're gonna be out at this point. Also, on the subject of green souls and how powerful they can become, etc., 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 exactly how involved is Lily's Mossy going to get in things?
Depends on whether we get our hands on him or not.
That's what the thing I was gonna ask in the sense of if you guys want to take over that if the version in your story is something that you want to take over, you might want to do that sooner rather than later because she's getting really hyped about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't mind helping to negotiate with her, but I need to know when.
The problematic thing with her for sure is the fact that she misrepresents things so much.
I know.
I mean, she is now in the so sure that her character is one of the main characters from us.
Oh, I know. That's one of the reasons I actually said that because in some of the recent stuff I've seen her say to people, like as it was in the last few days, she's really pushed it to where she thinks that this character is going to be interwoven into the main part of the plot for the rest of the story. And that
This box.
right, but this is the thing. You're either going to have to tell her flat out no, or do the thing with taking the character, or whatever, but something needs to be corrected soon, or she's going to start telling absolutely everyone this.
Yeah, I know. I mean, she actually. I hate to get through this. She actually made propaganda for my comic. It's for sake of her comic, in the sake of her story. It's just like I would never do that. I would never.
I mean,
people with
if-
comic.
Well, okay, if somebody says, hey, my character's been featured in such and such a comic, and they wanted to link to it, now that's normal.
Yeah, but she did it in a comic that had nothing to do with it. The whole
Right.
conversation had nothing to do with
Right,
it.
and see, that's the problem, is it's spam at that point. They're spamming the, yeah.
And I feel bad for the people that my comic is used as a spam at the box.
Now, I don't think they're going to judge you because you had no influence on that. That's mostly going to be them. But you're right, and we don't want her doing it all over the place. But again, more to the point, she's also running around in both through her own comment sections and through the Discord, basically telling everybody that it's like Mossy's the greatest thing since sliced bread and everything. And it's like, okay, don't get me wrong, neat character, great,
Yeah, I
but
like the character.
calm down.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
She doesn't do calm though. It's okay. But this is why I was asking you now because just like I said in the last couple of days, this has come up
I
way
mean,
more.
he is as much as a big character in the whole story as Savinder. I love Sam. He's adorable, but he's not the main character.
Now I would probably say that the way you've done it, he is more important than Subby is because A, Shadow actually did something significant because of it, and he's already altered code, so he's at least been more important. But the question is whether or not you want it to be Lily's Mossy that is this, even to that level of being important. Because one of the other concerns too is before it gets too much further along, we need to decide whether or not Lily's the one that you want to talk with about when Mossy wakes up, because that's going to get complicated. Because I already tried to talk with her once about how PTSD and all of the other stuff that she's talking about works, and I don't think she gets it.
Luckily at this point, I have my neck because I do the company. So
Yes, but
I
she's
figured
bugging the
out
shit
how
out
it
of you.
works.
I know she is.
I know. That's why I ignore her messages.
Well, how about this? Do you want to do like the pros and cons as to taking over Forest or this version of Forest? Like, because you seem like you're not really sure if you want to do it at all or not. So, what would be the reason?
I
not?
don't want to take it away entirely from her. That would be mean. That's the only complaint I have about it. Everything else, go for it.
That's why I keep saying this version. That's why I keep saying it that way. It would never be taking it away from her completely.
Yeah, it might. As long as it's taking her away from her as much as taking Underdust away from her as FPGA kid, it's alright. Because I would never do that.
Right.
That's a complete.
And no one would think you did. Like you have your own version of Lusty who we all love and adore.
Yeah.
So, because yeah, the other thing too is if she keeps him, he'll never be able to grow as a character.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah.
Because it really is a character with potential.
And he can still be a sweet little cinnamon roll. He just
Yeah.
he's not going to be the same type of innocent naive I think after everything. So
Yeah. I mean, he already would be right when he with someone just once with Lusty. After that, he would be broken forever. Seriously.
We're worried about Lusty. No, seriously. I said this from the beginning. If they so bond, it's Lusty I'm worried about because of all of the fuck. Look what happened to Squirrel.
That is a future vision.
It is, but if Mossy's dreams are actually all of these fucked up premonitions, I'm not entirely sure that that's a good thing for.
It would most likely hire Rusty's will to commit suicide, but that's more because he would be like, this is the first soul I broke.
It's not
I
just.
don't want to live
It's not even just that. It's just okay. If the dreams can be projection, especially if they're only potential. If for any reason that would include stuff from Lusty's world, I'm not real sure that he needs to see things like possible, even worse outcomes of things that could happen to like his brother. I don't think that would help his mental state. I really don't. I think that would be bad. Although honestly, given Lusty's personality at this point in the story, I don't think he wouldn't agree to so bond with Mossy. He just wouldn't. Like,
Because the extent of his personality,
right.
again, he hates himself because he did that to his brother as well as he did that to Cyrus.
To be fair, that's
Although
like
Cyrus
Cyrus.
is completely okay with it.
Right. Well, you said Cyrus initiated it, so you can't completely blame himself for that one. But, and I still would make the argument that what he did for his brother really was just to protect him. He's still trying to be a good brother.
I mean,
That's going to take a while to convince him.
if he would have done that, things would have been way worse.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it really is just his perception of it. I mean, his brother clearly is fine. Like, he's still a pirate. He's quite a happy pirate. And it would have been very different if it had gone any other way. So, I mean, it might take a long time, but I'm all for being in the camp where people try to convince Leslie that, no, this was okay. Okay, back to the Lily thing though, to figure out what I want to say. Do you guys want me to try to talk to her about this? Because it's a decision that if we go to do this, we're going to have to be on board with it.
Mm.
Yeah, I think we all crossed the line where we can say go for it. Because she's annoying the crap out of all of us.
The second question then is, when do you want me to do this? Is that something you want me to do over here in like the next few days, or what? Because it might have an advantage to do that while
What do
we...
you think?
Let's make it in the next few days, but then we are all here.
That's what
Yeah,
that
then
was,
we're all
in
over it.
real time have that discussion. I'm going to do this and I'm going to figure out what is it that I do.
More rolls.
So I would have rolled hot dogs for the third time. Yeah. It's actually more hot dogs than the second time. That's good. Alright.
We also have bachelor. That would be all the rest of those.
Yeah. It would be the dessert.
I thought so you might like it as well, so
I got to make it when I was a kid. I would have like half of one of those. That stuff is so rich. What's funny is, I got to make that, and for my Latin class, we were doing, interestingly, a bunch of Greek dishes, and the one I actually like, that's what I made was honey pie. Because then I was like cottage cheese and honey, which sounds really weird, but tastes really good.
mm-hmm.
I need to put that recipe. It was really good. I was like, hey, baklava was fun. Baklava is just so rich. Oh, so what kind of cheese is it?
Emmentaler.
I know that one.
It's is it a German or Holländer?
Don't know, to be
I
honest.
think it's a Netherlandian.
What kind? Like, is it how sharp and or hard?
It's pretty soft.
Quite in the middle or in of the taste.
So probably like a mid-level Gouda cheese.
So yeah, it's not too pussy and it's not too strong.
Okay. Because I said Gouda has a good like spectrum like that. Like, Gouda can be either really soft or really hard, and they can be really tart or really like mild. So.
Ich fange jetzt an zu pumpen. Ich hoffe, wir werden noch mal rausbekommen.
I'm not gonna go make fries then.
Out of curiosity, how does the scale system or actually any of the scale deal with other soul color traits from like other aliens? I'm in charge of asking complicated questions.
Yeah, no. And the complicated answer is we would have to actually, study it, take it apart, and make a whole field for it as well.
Well, okay. Quick, simple, stupid question then. How important is it to know that information early on?
Not that important.
Well, to make sure that, like, since this is something that's being determined at this point, that my interaction with anyone and anything is engaging.
He is hungry.
I think so. Always a compliment. Maybe it's a magical power. Well, we already knew that. I have a feeling it's not even letter, so it's getting really low.
God, why is he so cute?
Because he's yours! You two made him! It's all your fault! In case you couldn't tell, the answer is both of you are cute, that's all. That's true. It's weird.
just found one of the dumps of PTA a so lovely.
I swear to God, you can tell me I feel like I'm putting fingers on my temples. Or is it what it really? Theo, take me to a small slice of cheese. Back in the fridge.
Huh? No, he's here.
I fully believe
Oh, someone is drooling. Yeah, wipe yourself off with daddy's face. No.
This is what we call Swiss cheese.
Huh?
This is what we call Swiss cheese.
Might be Swiss cheese.
It probably is. Right? Just a different word for bacon. You don't get with me, I like it. Man. I can't not know cheese I didn't like.
Hey, little one. Little one. Look at me when I'm talking with you. So tiny, adorable. Stop trying to numb my nose.
On the bright side, with you pumping it this early, at least you won't have to worry about staying up till really late to do it.
Yeah, although it's happening for usual time.
Well, so you're just bad all the time, whether you have that excuse or not. I see.
It's a. Ouch.
I think I've chipped a tooth sometime in the last few days. I'm not entirely sure how. Go me! Figured out that.
is your spitting away.
Having fun.
At least now there's coming out more again. Concerning.
Aren't there things you can drink and eat that will help with that?
I guess so. Those will be down this way. I have to prepare that stuff.
I don't know. I think there's just foods in general that are supposed to increase blood pressure. I have an it's like at that moment, I have an internet.
He's like,
Oh, wait. Oh. Well, I haven't for several days, so it's kind of that. Hey.
busy girl pacifier.
Yes.
How am I actually using these? I am proud of me. Top of the list, oatmeal. That one I knew. Because oatmeal is easy. You can make it boom. Fennel seed. Huh. I could see that. Oh, and lucid. A lot of them. What else do they not color?
What about chia seeds? By the way,
I'm looking. Getting there.
alright. Because all these smoothie with chia seeds, so it would be easy to get those.
Unripe papayas, spinach and beet leaves, which makes sense because oh my god, all the time. Garlic.
Then I'm actually eating the right stuff at the moment.
Black sesame seeds.
So
Hey,
can I
don't
finally put
forget-
garlic back in our regular
I'm
diet?
surprised you took garlic out.
Because VEG was a little
During
warm
the
one.
pregnancy, I couldn't stand garlic.
Oh, okay, that's different. That's different. There's a lot of things I know that people no longer like the smell or taste of during that time. But it is good for you. And boosting your system also good.
Also, the thing was,
Low blood pressure.
yeah, I already have a pretty low
Amen.
blood pressure, which I usually drink coffee, but during the pregnancy I couldn't drink coffee. So
Actually,
using garlic would have been like,
garlic can actually increase your circulation.
Not the pressure.
No, but it also won't lower the pressure, per se. It's more that if you have the problem
depends on the
already...
amount of garlic. And
Right,
I
and
used
also-
a large amount of garlic.
It also depends on the nature of the problem, because since it affects circulation, if the cause of your low blood pressure, it depends on what the cause is the thing about it.
That's a big question. Nobody knows.
Exactly. And if the cause has to do with circulation, then yes, it can cause problems. But for some people with low blood pressure, I just did it too. For some people with low blood pressure, garlic can actually make it better.
Okay.
Because again, it increases circulation. So I have low blood pressure, so I mean, I definitely understand the concerns. I can eat the hell out of garlic, but it actually helps me a little bit. But,
Okay.
but anyway, on to the black sesame seeds, carrots. Well, water's not exactly there's not any that it specifically says, but water in general, if you drink more of it, will increase the volume of the lactation. So you produce more milk. That's good to know. Barley specifically. Flour can be made from many, many things, but barley specifically. It is related to wheat, but it is a heavier grain.
Okay. What's that, John?
I'm still not sure
I
actually.
can look that up. I have internet.
Wonderful.
It's the most wonderful time of a fucking year.
I don't want to check out the word. I want to know what the thing actually
Yep. Oh, that was just me sitting down. Has it been 2 hours, or is he just getting more and more hungry?
I think it's been about 3 hours now. Yeah, it's been about 3 hours.
I hope this will be enough for you for now, because I'm getting tired, little one.
He's eating beyond your capacity to even just stay awake.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm not gonna try to pronounce this in German because I'm sure I'll do it wrong.
Try.
Grumpen? It's Graupen.
G-R...
Aupen.
Graupen.
Just to push emphasis on the R. But that is barley.
I heard that somewhere, but I'm not sure.
Most likely was doing their schooling somewhere, but
It apparently it boosts hydration or lactation and keeps you hydrated. You boil and have it with water throughout the day, or toss it in with other vegetables, whatever. Barley's a grain. You can put it in everything. Literally. Huh. Asparagus, which is not surprising considering that spinach was on this list and beef front of this. Asparagus is going to be on this list because it's that high dark green vitamins, tons of vitamins. Ooh, it actually helps stimulate hormones for your lactation. So it doesn't look like it doesn't necessarily increase the amount, but it makes it easier for you to produce, which is equally important, I would think. Brown rice. Apricots. Salmon. Salmon. Cumin seeds. Basil leaves. Dill leaves.
You heard we have to make salmon.
Don't we still have that salmon that Blissy never had?
Yeah, but it was actually one thought I had was making salmon for dinner.
Apparently there's a thing called bottle gourd. Well, gourds in general. Sweet potato. Almonds. Chickpeas. Poppy seeds. I don't think you would want to limit that.
Es müsste Mohn sein. Poppy seeds.
Oh, that's good. I love that stuff. Of course, they also have cow milk on this list, which I'm not entirely sure. I mean, oh, that's interesting. But consuming cow milk during lactation will help your child avoid developing an allergy to cow milk. Well, that might explain why I'm lactose intolerant, because I was allergic to my mother's, and I couldn't breastfeed. Which is okay, because it means I also can get milk.
no, that would be the next would then be pretty important that I eat more with stuff because
And then you drink more
since
liquids
he
in
has
general.
little
Right.
they would most likely
And this would
avoid
be,
getting this too.
yeah, and this would be the best time because most lactose intolerance allergies like that, I mean, there's exceptions, but a lot of them don't show up until somebody is in their late teens or early 20s. That's when it, like, activates, so to speak. And I mean, some can start much earlier, but if you can prevent it early on, then win.
And I don't know my project in terrible of specifically often.
The good news is that cheese you can probably still have regardless, because the sharper the cheese, the less lactose it has. I've had a lot of people have been explaining, because like half my family's lactose intolerant. We spent a lot of time looking into what is and is not lactose. And it's like,
Oh, that was because that's why you asked early on.
because the sharper a cheese, the less lactose. The process that ages a cheese removes the lactose from it.
Also, it tastes better.
Now, I like my cheese, and you're not taking away my cheese, so I'll suffer anyway, but I'm also not as severely lactose intolerant as some people. Like, I wouldn't try drinking a glass of milk or having an entire milkshake unless I'm being very careful, because I will really pay for that. But cheese I can have. Let me put it this way. Unless I'm having too much cheese that it would make me sick for other reasons, I could have almost any cheese without it being too bad. It's just, I have to be careful with things that are pure milk. So again, like just drinking straight up milk or having a milkshake, which is just milk with sugar in it. That kind of stuff. I can even have yogurt without any problem because the cultures and bacteria that are in yogurt also break lactose down. Not completely, but they help. It kind of comes built in with its enzymes that break it down. So, do you want to know what it says on the list of things to produce, just to increase milk supply, like breast milk supply in general? Sure, well, the first thing it says is to nurse frequently and efficiently, because milk production is a demand and supply process.
Could someone please turn off while
I'm working on it. Give me a minute. I don't get out of here easily. Am I just turning it to 0 or to the light?
the light.
And then this off, I'm assuming? Yeah.
You can.
Oh, yeah. Do I need to turn this off or will it shut up on itself? It's still taking
No, it will shut up for its own.
What?
Hey?
Maybe I had right says catch fish in the pool, and now all of a sudden I get over 200 again, and I don't know why.
What? You
For
get.
what? Catch fish.
Oh, page views.
What? For what page? Like,
For my this is not taking that one.
How long was it low?
It started being quite low on April 8th. Where the first time for Egypt was under 200.
I'm wondering if a lot of people had things like spring break. People were on vacations. I mean, I don't know, different parts of the world have different spring break, but I know some of them are in early April. Some of them are, it's like mid to late March to early April. Seems to be the 3-week span to get spring break. Maybe my just spring break are on.
Also, because I was always thinking, oh no, it finally happened, but look somewhere else. Because
If views drop
all that
off,
stuff.
no, usually if views drop off, you look around and go, okay, what would be going on in the world right now where less people would be there?
Then again, it's me. First of all, I blame myself.
You're so silly. Everybody loves you, stop worrying about it. Because it's true!
Why?
So anyway. Because think about it like this too. Me and Lexi were both either traveling or getting ready for traveling or something like that. So you didn't have views from us or anyone that we usually would direct to your page. Because I don't know about Lexi, but I usually, on an average week, send 3 or 4 people to look at stuff. At the very least, I'll tell them that you've updated something. Sometimes it's new people.
Okay.
So I send people to you.
Okay, I didn't know that.
A lot of times it's not new people. A lot of times it's just letting people know that you've updated because they're not. They don't get outside alerts, like, unless they're watching their page for notifications and actually going through their deviations, they don't have any clue that you've updated. And if anyone's
okay.
well, if they're like me, like, for example,
I thought they are seeing this in case they watch me.
well, here's something you have to remember. Okay, I watch like 900 people. There is no way on this earth that I would ever know you updated, except for the fact that I actually keep your account on a tab on my browser at all times. I refresh your page, your gallery, at least once a day. Just because of the time offset, sometimes it'll be twice because I don't always know when an update will go through. I try to make sure I don't miss any of them. So usually I have to keep a tab open. If I didn't do that, there's no way I would know you updated. In a single day, in a single day, because I watch so many people, you know how when you view the deviations, you have the stacks on where it'll show who it's from and any of their deviations in a stack? Okay. Mine is set the max number of stacks you can show on a page. In a single day, it will be usually on average about 6 pages If it's a weekend, it'll be 10.
Okay.
That's pages of different people that have submitted.
That I have to admit myself once again because I'm, like you said, so many stuff. Because I'm
Yeah, mine's
having
unusually
about 180
Right.
clips I'm watching right now.
Wow, mine is very high. Mine is not the highest by any stretch of the imagination. I know a lot of people who watch more than me. And even the average, as I understand it, the average DeviantArt user, let me put this a different way. You make a comic. Most of the people who make comics watch less because they're busy, they're doing stuff. People who only watch other people, though, their average is about 400. That's still a lot of people. And even they're going to have an average of probably 4 or 5 pages of submissions. At least 4. So, this is why a lot of times I'll tell people that you've added something, especially if it's one of the comment pages, because otherwise they won't know. Or they'll kind of catch up all at once. Your page views are only going to tell you when they go to your page. But if they go to your page and catch up on 4 or 5 comic pages they've missed, you're only going to get the 1 view for that. You're not going to see it for every individual page that they've seen.
It was confused that it was going down so much because usually
I think it's probably vacation.
I have about 215 average, but most of them actually even up to 200.
Like I said, most likely right now, if it be that much different, it probably people are on break. I mean, that really is the most likely. Because I know where I live, the college, the local universities, the big ones go on break mid-March. The smaller ones go on break at the end of March, and most of the high schools and middle schools go on break at the beginning of April.
Yeah, that's fine. More than then again, there was a point where it really grew extremely.
Hard to say them.
And when I compare this to 2016, it
Because you got super popular.
is still confusing. That is not
That makes more popular.
not to 100 because. And in 2016, I had in April 459 watches on my page complete.
In total.
In total. 2017, there have been 8,050.
Wow, that's an impressive number.
Yeah.
Hell, that means that since the last time I was looking at it, if I was looking at it in the fall, it's several thousand more. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that percentage growth that's not common.
Yeah, that's the thing because of that I'm so confused of what the fuck is happening.
Why are you worried about it? You have 8,000 watchers!
I said I'm confused at that.
Again, most likely, if it's for a short window of time, it's usually just a coincidence. It's people were on vacation, various other things, whatever. Hell, for all we know, DA changed something and now it's even less good about giving people alerts. Who knows?
Oh no, don't tell me that you're doing your thing.
DA will occasionally change its layout, it will occasionally change its alert policy.
Yeah, but it
It's
wasn't so.
annoying.
But it's so far it hasn't been so often as it is in YouTube.
No, they only ever did that once. Actually, how long have you been on
Right. About 8 to 9 years, I'm not quite sure, because I lost my old stuff, but I'm not quite sure anymore. I have
I don't know, you've probably been on it. They changed the layout one time. They went and completely redid everything. They changed the layout, they changed the way notifications worked, they changed everything. They pulled kind of what YouTube did. The only difference is that it didn't suck. But it was so different, it took everybody forever to figure out how to do it.
Okay.
But it was completely different. But the way the site used to look was much more simplified, but this is the stage at which they added probably half the features they they did a bunch of work behind the scenes and decided to release everything all at once, which was, I mean, it was neat, but it was confusing, and people lost subscriptions. It was crazy. It was a mess because they weren't expecting. I think they had more active users than they realized they had. I think they had a lot of accounts that were sitting there not really doing anything, and they assumed they were dead. But when they changed the site, everybody jumped back on PA and decided they were doing things. And their servers weren't really ready for that. So there was a lot of problems. There were not. But it was cool. Like, unlike YouTube, their changes were actually good. We just kind of a mess at first. But I want to say that was right around that 9 or 10 years ago. Yeah, just like, I want to say it was right around. Oh yeah, it should have been around 2009. But it was the only time they ever did anything that made it. I think that's it. I think everything else has just been small little things. And they got a lot better about warnings. I said that. Those even aren't listened to people.
So YouTube screws up big time.
Anyway, to finish the thing I was telling you earlier, the nursing thing, but it says it's the supply and demand. The more that they drink, the higher the production. So they're like, everything.
The fact that I'm talking already increased.
Oh, I know, and the problem with their advice is that everyone I know is told that advice right there, and it never. Mommy is not a machine, you know?
Yeah.
It's. Honestly, though, the foods do help. I know that.
That is not like why I am actually quite relieved that I'm pumping instead of really actually best food. Because I think I would get nuts at one point.
I mean, you're not already nuts?
I'm crazy, that's what we have.
Okay. Roll up, what are the pieces of advice and rest well? Right. Yep. Oh, the other one you don't like. Stay away from alcohol.
Yeah,
I know.
Already doing that.
yeah, I'm doing that.
Oh, I know you don't like
and
it.
I feel awesome.
I know. I would just say, 'cause it's on there, of course.
Because I'm.
Oh,
I've
stay.
been sober now for over 9 months. 10 months, I know.
Well, that's why I said that thing the other day, that it's going to be a lot easier if you want to, you know, like, alcohol should be something after this point that you still enjoy, but I doubt you're going to want it that much anymore, because you've been off it for so long.
Yeah.
Also,
Which is a good thing, I guess.
I love that one of these is stay calm and relaxed. What?
Oh,
What planet are they giving this advice to?
yeah.
I want to know what mother is calm and relaxed.
Especially a mother who has a child for the very first time.
And you have a child for the first time who was just born, because that's who this advice is supposed to be for.
Yeah.
No, I have never found
They're
a
running in
calm.
circles, and most of the time they are not as lucky as I am to have a child who is so calm.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. Of course, it's, you know, use the correct bra, normal kind of stuff. So,
Okay, now wow,
also breast massage.
yeah, I'm okay. I'm really way longer than I thought.
What?
I just found my old account.
Oh.
I lost my
Passport?
my password exactly, and I couldn't get back because my email account was also lost. Because
Yeah, that's usually how
Google
it
is
is.
a little glitch time. I've been here for 11 years. Nice.
You're getting up there with the rest of us old fogies on there. Awesome.
Aww. I've got 10 watches on my house.
Aww.
That's cute.
It is. I think the only ones that had older accounts than the people I talked to was me and Roy Red. I think both of us were 14 years. I mean, DA's not much older than that, so, you know. You know, I'm still watching them too. Like, I'll still, like, it. Part of that, I haven't said anything to them yet, but it's just kind of that. There's a part of me that's just kind of keeping a general eye in their direction. It's hard for me to just turn my back on people. Also, I did kind of
I'm a little bit cringy about it.
Aww. Now I want to see. Can I look at it? Sure.
Yay! Just the whole description. This is so. Oh my god. I'm not sure when I was using this thing last time. Again, this is not.
Allow for the computer. Okay. I mean, your journal there is 2010.
Around that time.
But, I mean, your English was pretty good then. I mean, that's the kind of awful.
Yeah, 2010.
You know what's really amusing? It's that everyone is their own worst critic. But you have to understand that someone who's still learning how to draw shapes consistently, that's still like rocket science. Also, that actually is still a pretty good face. So, it's face.
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend was only complaining about that picture.
Yes, but we have already established.
Everything was wrong. The clothes were wrong.
But we've already established that their opinion is invalid because they're an asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean.
Oh, my reaction to Twilight.
Oh god, what was it?
I crushed that in the side of a real vampire with a Dracula book.
That reminds me, there were so many people when that movie came out that their reaction was like, no. And then they immediately drew something vampire related that was.
I mean, that was my reaction, yes.
That's okay. I think my favorite one was, there's one that a friend of mine drew that was like, it was Nosferatu, one of Anne Rice's vampires, like, you know, like 4 different vampires that were from various movies and media, and they're all looking at the sparkly one going, bullshit!
That's nice.
That was kind of because it wasn't even that the picture was necessarily super good because that made people draw better. It was just meant to be a cute, silly thing, so they made everyone like kind of adorable. And the worst part is, it started as just that picture, and then they did a small series of other pictures with those characters, because the one, that's right, the other 2 was Dracula, and then the Dracula from the silent movies, who looks really derpy, and they decided he was like the retarded puppy of the group, because he's always walking around like, it just became this misadventure to this little group of vampires. It was ridiculous. And Nosferatu was like the grumpy dad. You're hilarious.
I can remember about that one. I was so fried back then. When I look at it now, oh my god.
So what am I supposed to grab some of the fries with? Is there anything in particular?
There should be a giant serving spoon somewhere.
This thingy?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm,
Are you getting some of these food?
I already had some, so
Yeah, you think some. Are you having fries?
I still got that stuff here.
Alright. Do you have a plate over there, or do you want me to bring you one?
I've got a plate over here. Sure, but feed the DG.
I have that one right. I am very good at balancing things.
Oh my god, that picture.
What are you criticizing of your attack?
Everyone ended up with criticism, but I got so much dipshit for that one.
Is this good or do you want more?
That's alright. I do that one, during, the art lesson in school, and my sister who accepted exactly the same, pose. But we do it without knowing that the other two did. And she insisted that I stole.
Insisted.
She insisted that I stole her art. And stole her idea.
Which is funny, because if you were both fans of this, then, I mean, I can
Yeah,
see
I
that
mean,
you-
it's ridiculous. It's
And your
such a
sister.
simple-
Of course you would have that. You know, it doesn't seem that kind.
Yeah.
I'm not biological sister, by the
We
way.
haven't been at the best.
This is more the...
On the best terms.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't been at the best terms those days. There was shortly after this bitch shitting there with that one girl I was after. And then my sister was one of these folks who, yeah, believed her.
Okay.
I think it's cool. And I have it on another page on the job page, and she told the evidence that I stole her art, and they
But it's
ensure
your
that
own-
everybody knows.
But it's your own drawing. Like, even if, okay, she does not have exclusive rights to this pose because I know I've seen that particular pose in official artwork. So there goes that argument right out the window. And if you've drawn your own, even if you were inspired or whatever the hell by her piece, it's still your drawing. Well, you traced it. Argument is valid.
And yes, it's bad.
So, how old were you when you drew this? Honestly, that's pretty good. I mean, do you want the pros and cons constructive criticism of it?
Go for it.
Honestly, I think that,
I'm
especially
helping
early on, I actually think that, like, I think the face and the hair actually look pretty good. The wing is... Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And
But
I also,
on the bright side, at least you can tell it's a wing.
yeah, and I also think big fan of the eye.
Actually, the biggest problem with the eyes is just the way that they're kind of lined up. Honestly,
They're way too far.
they are,
Yeah.
but if by themselves they're not bad. Like, as far as
But
the
it's
shape
just
of the
not
eye,
that, but the way they are.
the spacing.
In the face. Excellent.
Actually, the shape of it is because this is scanned into a computer, the best thing you probably would have been able to do would be to take it and just, like, use a tool to grab the eyes and bring them in. It would actually change a lot in the way the face looks.
Also, I think the big sin everybody is thinking about now about shading all the black and white.
And, but that's not something you learn early or
Yes,
automatically.
I think however, I think right down where the feathers are from the project.
I do like those. And like I said, I actually do like the overall, like the eyes themselves, outside of the distinguished pretty good. And I do think that the way the hair looks here, because I mean, honestly, that's how his bangs look.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you did really go there. The wing is probably the thing that's the most off, but then again, wings are hard. The fact that you can tell it's a wing and that it's wrapped around him is in itself pretty good for early on. If you haven't drawn a lot of wings, then, you know, that's pretty good. And you get better the more you draw something, so.
Yeah.
The sad part of it is that I've spent a lot of time trying to study art. My problem with art is I have too many hang-ups with it. Like, I keep doing that thing where I'll go to draw stuff and I get hung up on the line. Actually, TVG has been the biggest help.
Oh,
Because-
hell yes.
Well, TVG, have you actually talked to them about art or just like looked
A
at
bit.
stuff?
Mainly it is because she compliments stuff I do, and I'm like, I wasn't aware I did something right, but okay, thank you.
She is
That's
actually.
the thing with the bubbles. She was fangirling about how I did at one pitch the bubbles in such a beautiful shape.
She's fangirling about more things than you know. There is a bunch of stuff she won't tell you. We've had this conversation several times. Because she's been professionally trained.
Yeah, that's why I'm so
She wants to see you, her words, she wants to see you evolve naturally. Because in the last year, your art has improved so dramatically that she just wants to watch it happen on its own. So other than like making little comments, she doesn't want to say too much because she doesn't want to influence it. Again, her words, she doesn't want to influence the direction your art takes.
I'm doing enough of that.
Well, yeah, you're a bad influence, though. You know that.
I'm sexy and I know it.
Oh, that's what we're calling it now. You walked into that. So anyway.
Yeah, I walked into that.
Repeatedly.
I mean, look at the little one over there. Proof.
Where I'm going to hell. But anyway.
So what? That's the place where
You're all the
everybody
fun
doesn't get
people.
cold. That's
That's all the fun people are. That's all the parties are going on. But anyway, but no, they don't work. But one of the things that we were talking about, actually, we were talking about it 2 days before I left for the trip. One of my problems is that if you try to look up tutorials or instructional things about doing art, most of them follow this one particular set of methods, and that's it. There's nothing else. If that's not the way you go things.
In best case, the worst case, they are condemning the other way.
Right. Well, here's one of my problems. I have never been very. Okay then. It picked. Okay. I have never been particularly good at the circle method.
The what?
The circle method. You know, where people will draw the circle and then quarter it and all this stuff.
That's the thing I complained about when I did the Cyrus tutorial actually. That's what is this is what I also work with, but the problem is in all these how you draw books is that they want a perfect circle. And
Right,
this is
right.
That's
Well,
the wrong way.
Not only do they want a perfect circle, and that can just piss right off, okay?
I mean,
Your hand is drawing a perfect circle. Bullshit.
yeah, also it's not about drawing a perfect circle, but drawing something that helps you construct the character. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you have
Well, and the character's shapes are very rarely perfect.
you grab it the way anyway.
Right. Well, not to mention, very few things are perfect circles. Heads are not perfect circles. They're not even close to perfect circles.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, the
yeah.
isn't that good?
Exactly. But here's the other problem, and I told like I said, BG and I had a long talk about this just a few days ago. Instinctively, what I usually want to do, and the the only two pieces of art I have up are the only 2 times I ever tried to draw anything that I really count as trying to draw anything, and they're terrible at me. But the reason that they have the specific problems that they do is that instinctively, I want to start from the outside in, and think of it like this. Think of layers to something where you have the silhouette, like the just dark silhouette, and then you have like the outline of something, and then you have like kind of some of the bold, like the broader details, you know, like if somebody was just wearing a shirt or something like that, and then the further in, or not further in, but the further the layers go, it's like there's more details. It's like my brain looks at an image and instantly does all of the layers, but it wants to start with that first layer of the silhouette. That's the problem. Everything wants me to start from the inside out. And VG was like, or TVG was like, you know, it's almost like with clay or something like that, where there's 2 different methods to do something like clay. You can either take clay and try to shape some and then add more to it, or you take a big piece of clay and you take pieces away. The way I instinctively want to go about it is kind of more like taking the pieces away. And we were trying to talk about a compromise, like ways that I can kind of do that and do the taking pieces away, but still have that framework, that skeletal framework inside of it. And I'm trying to figure out how to do it. That's where right now I am. That's where that conversation kind of left off. Because we didn't get to finish it because they had to go somewhere. But we never had to finish the conversation. We were trying to look for ways to bridge between those ideas. Between, I need to have, because the taking things away is great, but I still need something to be the core. Because for where the skeleton, I mean, even if we weren't just talking about drawing skeletons. What?
I've heard all the people
Okay, I still can't hear. Hold on.
I think that's it looks perfect, but it has awful drawing.
Okay.
This one shape and everything is
I don't know if I've seen it, because I went through your videos.
one from the quite early one, 2014. I drew it and I was like, oh my gosh, what have I done to the poor guy? Oh my god.
It could be worse. You could be doing a drawing like that of Cyrus.
It's not equally worse. Awful. I mean, there's this one happy character scene usually. And I throw a fucking bottle of pig blood over him.
I mean, it's my favorite thing.
It's just wrong.
What you doing? With who?